Why do good employees quit? When good employees quit, it costs companies a lot of money. That's why it's extremely important for those in charge to know the real reason. I'll show you exactly what that reason is and how you can change it in your company right here. Last week, a manager at the seminar told me that the company's leadership is considering dissolving their business if the situation with rising resignations and the labor shortage doesn't change for the better in the next 6 months. I was completely taken aback because this company had a good reputation until now and was, and hopefully remains, an important employer for 437 people. Since that made me curious, I sat down with Eva, the manager, after the first day of the seminar to find out exactly what had led to this situation there. She told me the entire management team was desperate and didn't know what to do anymore. They had already done everything in their power, but they couldn't stop the employee resignations. I experience similar things in other companies when it comes to the collaboration between employees and managers. What's interesting are the clear parallels in the origin and progression of this problem leading up to the resignation. Let's take a closer look at the situation from both sides, the manager and the employee. Managers are under immense stress in their daily work life and have many tasks and problems to solve every day. It is important for this group of people to assess situations quickly and correctly so that appropriate solutions take effect and problems are resolved quickly. For example, if employees follow shortly before a project deadline or supply bottlenecks arise in the middle of production, everything comes to a standstill if decisions aren't made quickly enough and alternative solutions aren't implemented. Managers are highly competent in this area of problem solving. That is, after all, how they got their jobs in the first place. You could say that managers are competent in this area because they proceed rationally, meaning they're seeing, thinking, and acting on in a capacity-optimized way. Managers then also apply this full-throttle mentality to problems involving employees. For example, managers see, oh, employee resignations are increasing, employees are dissatisfied, and performance is declining. I notice that. Thinking, if I don't change something right now, even more will leave. What were the 3 most important reasons for dissatisfaction again? They take action and then find solutions for salary increases, flexible working time models, and improving workplace conditions. The employees have been saying that all along. And so they initiate everything that is financially and materially possible to solve the problem. Employees then think to themselves, okay, nice things, sounds good, but something still isn't right here and is missing. I don't feel good about it. They just don't understand me, and I'm not going to put up with this much longer. Well, and then the disappointment is so great that they quit. Management then thinks, but I did everything and initiated everything. What else am I supposed to do to solve the problem? They quit anyway. I don't understand it anymore. I just can't wrap my head around it. Around their head, meaning it's not rationally understandable. You can find out what employees are thinking by asking closely during resignation talks or exit interviews. The uneasy feeling that employees have is usually related to a lack of appreciation. So, not something material, but interpersonal. It's clear that managers don't necessarily understand or are able to provide this. As just mentioned, their daily stress is focused on rational problem solving. Everything else might even feel kind of silly to managers, such as interpersonal, empathetic behavior, emotional intelligence, emotional quality, in other words, EQ. That doesn't mean they can't do it, but it's not the first thing they think of. So hey, please don't worry. This isn't about turning around highly competent, rational management personnel to change their type. No, that won't work. It's about developing a functioning system where both sides, employees and managers, can work together really well to achieve top results. By the way, this works in 3 steps that we have already developed in X companies. We have even gotten the most intellectual, overthinking managers to implement this successfully because it is doable. Here are the first 3 steps that are important: communication. The technique as well as the method of application is adapted to the system and the individuals. Second, delegation. We look precisely at which specific parts and areas can be divided up step by step. This creates time and trust. Third, bidirectional team meetings. That means when it works excellently in both directions, meaning for both employees and managers, it ensures an efficient exchange and successful collaboration. So, employees don't want perfect managers. They want to notice change. That is another form of appreciation and also keeps them in the company. But if previous approaches continue unchanged, more and more employees will quit. Why not use years of experience to your advantage and get a professional who has already successfully installed this three-part system in countless companies? Why shouldn't it work for you too, if that's what you need? I'd be happy to explain how best to install the system in a short phone call, so you can quickly decide what needs to be done to adapt your system to the latest requirements. And I'm looking forward to that. Otherwise, until next time. Take care. Bye.